We had bugged you guys last week a few times to go fill out the State of the Nation poll, which we, again, asked you, nation citizens, readers, listeners. It's a mix of everybody, not just people who consume the podcast and shows. It's a mix of everybody. And we asked you some questions about basically the state of the Edmonton Oilers to get a good read on things here. The full story's up, OilersNation.com. I can give it a little plug into the YouTube here. Oh, and I just lost it. Where is it? There it is. State of the Nation results. So let's go through a few of these, and you tell me, Liam, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being stunned, 1 being not surprised, how surprised you are that the voting went this way, okay?
Okay.
First one. Are you satisfied with Chris Knobloch and the Oilers coaching staff?
Do you want me to answer it? Oh, no, I already did it.
Yeah. 79% said no. Scale of 1 to 10, how much does that surprise you?
4. I don't think fans should be satisfied. I think it's been incredibly underwhelming.
Yeah, I think if it's isolated to just this year, I'm not surprised.
That's how I'm viewing it.
So yeah, I'd even say I'm a little bit lower. I'm like a 3. I thought maybe if I would have had to guess, I would have said I thought it would have been 60% would have said no.
Yeah.
Maybe a touch surprised that it's that high, but not surprised at all that the majority voted no.
What's this to be satisfied about?
Yeah.
It's been very, very underwhelming.
This next one I'm not surprised by because, again, I think when people fill out things like these, you tend to be maybe inherently a little bit more negative.
Okay.
Are you confident in GM Stan Bowman's ability to improve the team? 57% said no. I don't know what else. What are you like? Trent Frederick deal sucks. I know. The Mangiapane deal hasn't looked great. Kind of blown up in their face. I think you can also look at that Mangiapane deal and be like, remember, he got out of Arvidsson and got a pick for it. Mm-hmm. That's why they were allowed to go make the Mangiapane signing because they were like, you know what? We can't bring back Arvidsson. Let's do something else. I don't understand the people who are that upset with Bowman. Or maybe I should phrase it this way. I don't understand how you could have totally lost confidence in him because his good moves are still outweighing his bad moves.
I think so too. I would give that one a 7. I think that's more on the surprise side for me. I think even the Mangiapane thing, it not working, he still has 6 or 7 goals on the season, whatever it is. Like, it's not been as much of a disaster as it could have been. Imagine if him and Frederick were switched right now. You know what I mean? So they're not at the end of the day. People obviously will point to the Jarry deal. At Knockout Panda said Jarry deal was a bad trade. I don't think the jury's out on that one yet. I think we've got to wait and see.
Judge it at the end of the year.
So I don't think it's that bad. Brian in the chat says the Burrowberg and Holloway debacle is what upsets me, although most of it is on Jeff Jackson.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that one.
And again, I didn't want Bowman to be hired as the GM. I said he had to win me over. I was not just going to give him the maybe same grace period that I would have given any other GM. He has, to an extent, impressed me with some of these moves. Next one. What should the Oilers' top priority be? Defenseman, third line center, and top 6 winger were the options. Defenseman got 53% of the vote. I will say 8 out of 10 surprised. I really thought people would want a top 6 winger.
I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be top 3 center. I think I'm leaning more towards the defenseman side of things too. So I'll say this one's like a 6 for me out of surprise.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be centerman, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I honestly thought defenseman would be 3rd on the list.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's
people
why
always like the forward.
Yeah.
But I do think what people maybe saw of Warman those last couple of games. Maybe, yeah.
Next question. Which soon-to-be unrestricted free agent would be your highest priority to re-sign? Kapanen, Roslovic, and Ingram were the answers, or were your options. 39% voted Kasperi Kapanen. He was the leader. It was close. 34% went Roslovic. 26% went Ingram.
I'm very surprised by this one, but I think recency bias goes into it big time. Kapanen obviously went into the break pretty hot. I'll say this one surprised me an 8 out of 10. Mine would be Roslovic.
Okay. I mean, it's all dependent on contract.
Yeah.
If you could call Connor Ingram today and do the 3x1.9 that Brandon Bussey got.
Not 4x4 like Rick wanted.
No, not going all the way to 4x4. I'd consider that, right? If Jack Roslovic would sign a 4x4 right now, I'd probably give some consideration to it. If Kasperi Kapanen would sign a 2x1.75, I'd probably consider it. I think this question's hard to judge just because it's so relative to cost, in my opinion. Who do I think is the most valuable of the Oilers out of those 3? It's actually probably Connor Ingram, then Jack Roslovic, then Kasperi Kapanen.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the voting was close. Kapanen was 39.7. Roslovic was 34.1. I'm just a little bit surprised. I thought it would be closer all across the board.
Well, here's what's interesting is 26%, the lowest of the three of that vote went to Ingram. The next question, who are you more confident in, Tristan Jarry or Connor Ingram? 69.4% of you said Connor Ingram. So why wouldn't you want him back if you think he's the number one?
Yeah.
That one, I will say, again, I think people are very in the moment when they vote on these. So I'm like 4 out of 10 surprised that it's Ingram getting that high of a vote.
I'm surprised by the gap. I'll actually say a 7. I thought it'd be more of like a 55-45 kind of thing. No? What do you think?
I think it's a runaway for Connor Ingram when I look at the chat night in, night out of who they have more confidence in.
I thought
it'd be like 80% for Connor Ingram. I thought it'd be higher.
But I have more confidence in Ingram too. I just can't believe people have fallen off Jarry that hard when both goalies have very bad numbers.
Sure. In 3 of Ingram's last 4 starts, he's been below a 900, below an 860 in them.
Yeah, neither of them have been good enough. No. Neither of them. But it is funny, like, when you look at the question above, and it's only 26%.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the Oilers' season so far? 1 is lowest, 10 is highest. The vote that ended up getting the most out of the 10 options was 6 out of 10 at 33.4. That surprises me. Considering how negative the voters were with everything else, to be at a 6 out of 10, I get that they're within spitting distance of the top spot in the division. They have lost more games than they've won. To me, the vote here should have been 4 out of 10, which did finish as the 3rd most popular option, but that would have been my pick. Like, again, it's not disastrous. Disastrous would be 1, 2, or 3, but it's only a little above disastrous.
Such an interesting question. Because, which you shouldn't do this, but I will, take away the points, take away what, like, you just look straight up at the standings, like, oh, the Oilers are second with, like, 25 games left. You're pretty satisfied, but then you watch the product and you're like, oh, this is horrible every single night, it feels like. I'm probably more on, like, a 3 on the sense of, like, my satisfaction. So I'd say a surprise. I'm like an 8 surprised.
How far do the Oilers go in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Round 2 exit gets the highest amount of votes at 33%. Mm-hmm. Stanley Cup victory next at 25.2%. And then round 3, then round 1, then Stanley Cup final loss.
I do think it's interesting that people would vote it as a second round exit due to how underwhelming the Vegas Golden Knights also are. It's not like Vegas is 20 points ahead of the Oilers. Like, they have also not been that good and kind of living and dying off loser points. So, yeah, I'll say I'm surprised by that. I'll say like a 7. I think round 3.
I think the path to the conference finals is definitely there. Yeah. I do think a round 3 exit's most likely. Mm-hmm. And then I would honestly say that a cup victory is second most likely.
I think
they either lose in round 3 or they win the Stanley Cup.
If they lost in round 1, I think they would deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
I think if the Oilers fell in round 1, I just wouldn't be that upset with the way the season has gone.
Surprised or stunned. Like, I'd be pissed that they fucking squandered a year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I guess
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like, I think heads should roll if it happens. Mm-hmm. And I think we'll see what I mean. Fingers crossed we don't have to have that conversation, but
and the other thing too, that like the way things are trending right now, if the playoffs started today, and I know this can be kind of a dangerous game, but there's also only 26 games, or in the Oilers' case, 24 games left in the season. 2 weeks away
from the deadline, less than a month.
If the season ended today, they're playing the Seattle Kraken in round 1. Mm. And even if they found a way to win their division, they'd be playing Utah in round 1. Oh my God, if you lose to Seattle, Utah, I'll even throw Anaheim and San Jose in there. Major alarm. Like, again, I haven't viewed this year as a cup or bust year. I don't think their roster is as good as it's been the past number of seasons. I think they're fully capable of winning a Stanley Cup, but I viewed this year as a potential year to do a little soft retool and then really hammer it next year. But good Lord, with all that being said, if you lose a first-round playoff series to the Kraken, Mammoth, Ducks, or Sharks, blow it up. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, you got some adjusting to do for sure.
Couple more quickly. 2 more to be exact. Do the Oilers win a Stanley Cup before the end of Connor McDavid's extension? 72% of you said yes. That's not surprising to me.
0.
Yeah, like that's kind of the number I thought it'd be.
Yeah. I mean, probably should. We probably should have that level of optimism.
Does Connor McDavid retire as an Edmonton Oiler? 63% said yes. That's actually the percent chance I think I'd honestly give it in my own brain that he does. I said yes. I think he will. I lean higher than 50%, but I think it's better than 50-50, but far from a lock that Connor McDavid never wears another sweater in his NHL career.
I agree. Yeah. I think today, if you had asked me this question last season at the end of the season, even before, I think my percentage would have been higher, to be honest, than it is right now. Which might seem strange because he obviously extended and everything, but like the team's not even close to where it should be. And his standards should be much higher. I thought D had a really good point just as we continued on the goaltending, like we always do. D said there is no goalie on this planet that would look good playing with the Oilers right now. They've made goalies look bad over the last 2 decades. Talbot, Dubnyk, Skinner, just to name a few.
By the way, Skinner, in his 2 starts before the Olympic break, gave up 5 goals on 23 shots and 5 goals on 20 shots, 10 goals on 43 shots, 2 save percentages below 800.
I do think D's right, though. And I think if you just want to put it in the vacuum of like this past, honestly, since Christmas, this team has been brutal. They need to come back. I'm going to write an article on like 5 things I want to see from the Oilers. Should I tell you them?
Sure.
I want to see Knobloch figure it out, get some kahunas. Jake Wallman to find his pace.
He would be huge.
It makes a big difference.
Trickle-down effect that goes throughout the blue line and the roster if Wallman does that.
Obviously, more consistency from the goaltending that goes with the team as a whole. The other one was I want Stan Bowman to make a trade. A pretty simple
As
one.
do I.
The last one, let me just make sure I get it right here. Trade. The penalty kill to establish itself again. Like, the penalty kill was nothing special, but it was still like a top 10 defense. You know what I mean? I like hung around there at least for the most of the season. All of a sudden, it just decided that it was just a bunch of peewee players playing on the penalty kill and nothing was working. So they've got a lot to figure out, but those are my 5.
Like, get back to adequate. That's where I'd say the PK was. Yeah.
Yeah, get back to adequate.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.